What's up guys, my name is Ace, and today we're going to be covering the variant system in Infinite Warfare. I'm going to be talking about everything we know so far about the system, as well as sharing all of the known weapon perks. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so I want to start the video off by saying we don't know everything yet about how this variant system is going to be implemented into the game, and that likely will be kept under wraps until closer to the launch of the game. Even for the beta, we're likely not going to get too much information on the variant system. Having said that, I'm going to share everything that I know so far about it, which is quite a bit. I've done quite a bit of research on it, so I feel like I know quite a bit and I can share that with you guys. But keep in mind, I don't know absolutely everything yet. So first off, the variant system is going to be different than any other variant system we've seen before in Call of Duty. Initially, I was thinking, oh crap, it's going to be just like Advanced Warfare again, and that doesn't seem to be the case. With Advanced Warfare, the weapon variants, they basically just changed the stats. So they increase damage, reduce recoil, increase rate of fire, or decrease rate of fire. They just changed up all of those stats. They didn't really add too many quirks or anything like that. Whereas a lot of the weapon perks that we're going to see on our variants in Infinite Warfare, they just kind of make the gun have its own unique feel, and they make it really quirky without really directly changing the normal time to kill of the gun. Now, some of them might change the multiplier zones or something like that, but the actual normal time to kill of the guns seem to be holding true to the base guns, which I really like, and that's making me feel a whole lot better about having the variant system, because overall, I'm not really a fan of it. But, like I said, it's starting to look a lot better than Advanced Warfare's variant system so far. Now, the big part that they're kind of keeping a mystery as it is right now is exactly how these variants are attained. I am kind of guessing, but I'm very confident there are going to be supply drops in this game. It makes them so much money every year now that it would be ridiculous to think that they don't have supply drops this year, but they haven't had any mention of that so far. So I'm assuming that's going to be one way to get these variants, is you get them through a supply drop. And another way that they've talked about a little bit, but they haven't gone into any details on, is you can actually build the variants through salvage. So keep in mind, this is going to be a little bit of speculation on my part, and it is just based on my understanding of how they've explained it before, but they haven't gone into those crazy details yet, so I could be a little bit off on some of this. But essentially, you get salvage for playing the game. I don't know if you just get this like at the end of every game, just like XP, you build up salvage, or if you get it for like burning duplicates from supply drops, or maybe you can like burn any gun you want or any gun variant that you get from supply drops. But basically you build up this salvage, and with that salvage, you can build these variants. So you can actually build them through playtime rather than only being able to get them by being lucky. At least that's how I think it is so far. Maybe they're going to hold some guns back where it's impossible to build them with the salvage system and you need to get them through a supply drop. I hope they don't go that route. If they do go the route of being able to build any gun you want, I'm very, very excited about this system in that case. Because at least we'll have something that we can work towards instead of just playing a slot machine and hoping we get the gun that we actually want. If that's the case, we can say, hey, I want to get this variant of the gun, and I'm going to start working towards that. And you can just grind out the game until you actually get exactly what you want. I'm really hoping that's going to be the case. But with these variants, we get a couple weapon perks. Some of them only have one weapon perk. Other ones have two weapon perks. I don't know if that's going to be the limit, but so far, the variants that have been revealed to us, the maximum number of weapon perks that they have is 2, so I'm assuming that's going to be what we're going to see in the final game. Also, a really common question is, can we just select whatever weapon perk we want to put on our gun? And no, that doesn't appear to be the case. The weapon variants themselves are set variants, so when you earn the Volt Goliath, for instance, then you get Spike as well as Focus. It doesn't go any other way. That's what that variant has on it, and that's what you're going to get. You can't change the weapon perks within a variant itself. So far, we've had quite a few of these weapon perks revealed to us. I'm assuming they're likely keeping a few from us right now. There's likely going to be more, but as it is right now, I'll share with you guys the entire list of all of the weapon perks that have been revealed to us so far. And I split these up into different categories just to make things easier. At least for me, I find that it's nice to have them organized into different categories that they fit into. First off, we have what I call stacking perks. These are perks that stack onto existing attachments or perks in the game. So we've got Readiness, which will allow you to reload faster, but only when your magazine is completely empty. So it doesn't change your reload speed unless you completely empty your magazine. and this one will stack with dexterity, which is the perk that increases your reload speed. Next up, we have Sharpshooter. This one gives you an increased damage range, which is just like a long barrel from Black Ops 3, just increases the range. The equivalent of that attachment in Infinite Warfare is called a particle amp, and this weapon perk will stack with that particle amp, so it just gives you longer range with your gun. After that, we've got Stability. This one just reduces your recoil, just like Foregrip will, and it will stack with Foregrip as well. Next, we've got Stockpile. This one gives you increased total ammo, so you just start with more ammo in your gun. This one will stack with Extended Mags, because Extended Mags technically does give you increased starting ammo as well. And finally, we have Steady, which gives you reduced hip spread, and this can also stack with Laser Sight. So this one just makes your hip spread much more accurate, and if you stack it with the Laser Sight, you can make it super, super accurate. Moving on to the next set of weapon perks, we have the fire type ones. These are the ones that directly impact the way that your gun fires, or the type of fire that your gun uses. First off, we have Lucky 7, and with this one, it will unload half of your magazine every time you pull the trigger. This one seems like it could be a bit of a gimmicky one for some guns. I don't know if it'll be available on all guns. I can't really see this being available on LMGs, for instance, because it would be kind of ridiculous to fire like 30 rounds or something with one trigger pull. It would just be completely out of control. But some of the lower ammo count ones, like some of the pistols or SMGs, maybe assault rifles as well, we have this Lucky 7, which will just make it a large burst gun, or it'll have a really high amount of burst. So if you have like a 20 round magazine, you pull the trigger once and you'll get 10 rounds firing out of your magazine. After that, we have Breakpoint, and with this one, this just turns your gun into a full auto gun. Now, if the gun is already a full auto gun, then obviously you're not going to have this weapon perk at all. Like, it just won't go on those. But the one that we actually saw this on so far is from the R3K, which is a burst gun by default. It's an assault rifle. And if it has this Breakpoint weapon perk on it, it becomes a full auto gun. After that, we have Spike. And with this one, it deals increased damage, but it fires one bullet at a time. So it just turns your full auto or your burst gun into a semi-automatic gun. It will increase the damage to compensate for that, but it will also reduce the potential fire rate of the gun. And overall, as long as they balance that properly, I'm very excited for that because I love my semi-autos, and this means I'm potentially going to have access to tons of different semi-auto guns. And I just hope they balance it properly where they don't like increase the damage too much, or they don't increase it enough and make it completely useless, or something along those lines. But basically just turns your gun into a single shot. Finally, for fire type, we have Overcharged, and with this one, it gives you a charged, powerful single shot. Now, with this one, we saw it on a pistol, and for this, it seems like it's going to be like a P06 where there's a charge time, like where when you pull the trigger, it doesn't instantly go off, it has to charge up a little bit, and then it fires, but it's likely going to be very, very powerful as well. Like, I'm thinking it's likely going to have a one-shot kill potential out to a somewhat decent range, at least for that pistol that we saw it on. Moving on to the next set, we have the damage weapon perks. These are the ones that affect the damage or the multipliers of a gun without actually changing the fire type of the gun. And the first one we have is Jawbreaker. This one gives you bonus headshot damage, but it reduces the damage towards the legs. Now, normally a leg shot would be the same as like a torso shot or a chest shot on every gun aside from sniper rifles, that is. And with this one, it makes it so you deal less damage to the legs, but it basically gives you like high caliber, for instance, where headshots deal more damage, so it'll likely take one less shot to kill if you hit him in the head with this particular weapon perk equipped. After Jawbreaker, we have Below the Belt. This one's quite weird. This one does bonus damage towards the groin instead of the head. So it removes your headshot multiplier, and it moves that headshot multiplier to the groin of your enemy. It's a really interesting one, and it's actually likely going to be quite powerful. If you think about it, if you're shooting a guy in the head going for that headshot multiplier, it's kind of high risk, high reward. You get good reward because you get that headshot multiplier, but if the recoil takes you above his head, or if you get flinched up above his head, then you're going to be shooting the air. Whereas when you're shooting that same multiplier towards the groin of your enemy, if you get a lot of recoil, for instance, or a lot of flinch, then that's just going to flinch you up into his torso, and you're still going to be getting your shots on target. So I think this one, a lot of people think it's just like a funny sort of gimmicky thing, but it's likely going to be a very practical weapon perk, and I'm definitely excited to get a couple variants with this on it. After that one, we have Heavy Hitter, and with this one, it actually doubles your damage, but it reduces the fire rate of your gun. So it's a little bit scary to see double damage because that's very, very scary, but as long as they're adjusting the fire rate accordingly, then I think this won't be a big deal at all. It'll basically just change how the weapon feels and behaves without hopefully affecting the time to kill too much, if at all. Moving on to the next set of weapon perks, we just have the ones that I list as attachments because these ones just give you a free attachment. And first off, we have hacks, and with this one, you just get a custom hack sight. Now, I don't know yet what a hack sight is. I don't know if it's like a millimeter scanner from Black Ops 2 where it like scans through walls, or if it acts like a target finder or something. I don't really know yet, but it gives you some sort of a special sight on your gun. And then after that, we have Master Key, which gives you an underbarrel shotgun with regenerating ammo. And I really like the idea of the Master Key coming back, but as like a weapon perk rather than as a weapon attachment. The final group of weapon perks that I threw together is just miscellaneous. So this is everything that just didn't fit into another category. It's just the random ones that I decided to throw in here. And first off, we have Focus. And Focus reduces your idle sway while aiming down sight. Very, very simple and straightforward there. After that, we have Hunter Killer, and this is described as enemies at low health are highlighted. Now, I don't know how this is going to work exactly. I don't know if this means any enemy that's at low health, even if your teammate got them to low health, will end up being highlighted. I don't know if this highlighting works through walls. I don't think it'll work through walls. I think it just kind of highlights them just to make your target acquisition a little bit easier. Or maybe it only works from enemies that you have hurt. But I think it works for any enemy that's at low health, and it doesn't work through walls. It only highlights them and helps you acquire your target faster. After that, we've got Awareness, and for this one, this only works for sniper rifles, so this one will only be applied to sniper rifles. And with it, your minimap will stay active when you're aiming down sight. Next, we have Surplus, and for this one, enemies will explode and drop a score streak packs for your team when they're killed. This one sounds really interesting. I don't know if there's like a different animation. I assume there's a different animation when you kill an enemy when you have a gun with this weapon perk equipped. And when they explode, they drop score streak packs. So your teammates can run over and they can collect these score streak packs and give them score towards their score streak. This one could go bad, but it really depends on how they balance it. If there's only, for instance, like 25 or like at most 50 score to go around if your teammates go and collect it, I think that's totally fine. It's like the same as them getting an assist, for instance. And it's not like they just get it for free. They have to actually run over to the body and get that, which can be a risky situation to get into. Because everybody, it seems like, will see a different animation there. So everybody on both teams will see like, okay, that guy exploded, therefore he's dropping these score streak packs, and we should kind of camp that body a little bit, or just pre-aim and be ready for people that are going to be rushing towards that. So overall, I think this one's really interesting, and I'm definitely interested to see how it plays out. I'm hoping it won't give too much score, otherwise it could very easily become unbalanced. Next up, we have Jackpot, which gives you 10% more score for every kill that you get with that gun that has the weapon perk equipped on it, which I think is really cool and totally balanced. And then finally, we have Nuclear, and for this one, a 25-player kill streak will earn you a tactical nuke. Now, I'm assuming every single one of those 25 kills has to be earned with the gun itself that has that weapon perk equipped. And also, we don't know at this point if it's going to be a game-ending tactical nuke like Modern Warfare 2, or if it's going to be more of like a Moab or a Chem Strike where it kills the entire enemy team, a big bomb goes off, but the game goes on and it doesn't end the game. For that one, I guess we're just going to have to wait and see. So those are all the confirmed weapon perks so far for Infinite Warfare, but there have been a couple other ones that have been kind of revealed, but at the same time, the title of those weapon perks is unknown. They're just using placeholders at this point, so we don't really know. But they did reveal a couple other variants, and the first one is called the Type 2 Butcher, and with this one, we get a weapon perk that's just called 87 right now. It appears to be a placeholder because there's another one that you'll see in a second, also called 87, that's a completely different one. And with this one, it gives you an alternate mode that now fires as akimbo shotguns, which is really interesting. It's likely going to be limited to just a select few number of guns, but definitely an interesting one. We don't know what that one's going to be called yet, though. After that one, we have one called the DCM-8 Masochist. And with this one is very weird. I don't see the point of having this one, but we have a new weapon perk also called 87. And with this one, it gives you infinite ammo, but it inflicts self-damage when you fire it. So every time you fire a shot, it deals damage to you. Now, it's likely not going to deal like the full amount of damage that it would deal to an enemy, otherwise it would just be completely useless to have. But every time you fire a shot, it's going to deal a little bit of damage to you. I would say something like 1 or 2 damage out of 100 per shot you fire would be something that's reasonable. This is an LMG, so you could fire a bunch of shots, and as you keep firing, you keep hurting yourself. But it gives you infinite ammo, so you can just keep going and going and going with it until you die. Definitely an interesting one. It could make for some cool challenges and just for some fun gameplay overall, but I don't really see the point of having this weapon perk. As you can see also, like readiness, they used readiness for both of them, yet they're both different perks. So the title of these perks are completely screwed up right now. We don't know what those ones are going to be titled, but it does appear these weapon perks will be in the game under a different name. So there we have it. That's going to cover everything that I know so far about the weapon variants in Infinite Warfare, as well as all of the confirmed weapon perks that we know about so far. Let me know in the comment section below, what are you thinking of this variant system in comparison to Advanced Warfare? Do you think this is better than Advanced Warfare, worse than Advanced Warfare? Are you excited for this variant system, or are you very angry at this variant system? Let me know in the comment section below. If you enjoyed the video, a like rating is always appreciated, and don't forget to subscribe for more if you haven't already. I'll talk to you guys next time.